Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts. None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world. Thank you.
All right, y'all. This is Tim McAndrew, your host of Leading with Sense. Today, I've got a real quick episode for you. I'm just going to cover my steps for financial success. So, I know Dave Ramsey, Crown Financial, a lot of different companies out there have their own steps. And looking at the step process, I believe that having steps, having an outline is the key to being successful. So whether you follow Crown, Dave's, or mine, or someone else's, if you follow a tiered and stepped plan, that's how you'll find success. Just like working out. If you follow a workout that has an A portion, a B portion, a C portion, and you stick to that format for a duration of time, you're going to succeed. I have not seen a stepped program out there for military members. You'll see the 5 money hacks if you're in the military, or you'll see 10 mistakes when joining the military, but no one has a step-by-step program for military members. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. Nothing profound, but yet effective and inclusive. And it's called the Money Marching Order. Again, the Money Marching Order is an 8-step program to ensure you have all your bases covered and that you're successful throughout your military career. It's crazy to think how much money you'll make throughout your military career. And a lot of times people get to the end of their 20-year, 25-year career and they have nothing left to show for it. I did financial coaching with many retiring service members. Retiring, meaning they've done 20 years or more in the service, and now they are retiring. Many of them did not have anything in retirement. They had very little in savings, but they had brand new cars, and they had a house that was way out of their affordability range. And many times when I talked to them and asked about their 401k or their IRAs, which again, in the military, your 401k, your employer benefit retirement plan, is your thrift savings plan, your TSP. So many of these people that I've talked to, they didn't have anything in their TSP, and they didn't have barely anything in their IRAs, which is your individual retirement arrangement that you can buy on the open market. You don't need an employer contribution plan to open up an IRA. And oftentimes when I talk to them, they say that it was because that they were relying on their pension at 20 years, which is 50% of your high 3 years averaged, right? So when I heard that and realized that people weren't not putting away anything in retirement and relying on the pension, I realized that the system was broken. I also realized that the military in itself does a terrible job. It does a terrible job of teaching financial literacy and promoting financial health. When I in process at Fort Hood in 2014, the Fort Hood Federal Credit Union was at in processing. And I was in there with many new soldiers, straight out of boot camp, straight out of AIT, and many junior officers just coming out of ROTC, OCS, the academies, and the credit union. The credit union was there in person promoting credit cards, auto loans, and other financial products to everybody, including these brand new soldiers. And that's when I realized something is not right. There is no process in place in the military, and the military does not support financial well-being. They say they do. You get counseled if you do bad financially, but there's nothing in place mandatory that you have to do to learn finance. So you have different services on base that if you go and seek them out, they will give you financial advice. But there's no open market product for you to consume. There's no roadmap for military finance. And for transparency, I am a Dave Ramsey guy. I have followed Dave Ramsey since 2013. I love his stuff. I love what it has done for me and my family. I love what it's done for people that I've coached. And that's why I became a Ramsey Solutions financial coach, because I believe in it. I believe in the process. And Crown Financial is very similar. It's a very similar process, right? So I just think that as far as military goes, that Ramsey Solutions falls short. When military families call into the Dave Ramsey show and talk about having been deployed for a year, having been deployed for 6 months, or they call into other financial shows or other financial services and talk about their finances, no one can relate to what they're going through. They haven't served, they haven't deployed. Not that they have to or need to, but if you're about to deploy for a year, wouldn't you want to talk to someone or to follow a process from someone that deployed before, or someone that served, a veteran, and understands your language? You know, they know what PCS means. They know what TDY or LES. They understand these acronyms, and they understand promotion status. They understand BAH, BAS. They understand these acronyms. They speak acronyms, and that's what I am here for. I'm here to apply sound financial principles while speaking your language. So, just for transparency again, I just finished terminal leave. I was in the military for 8 years. And I waited to release this podcast until after I was out. I didn't want anyone to be able to tell me what I could and could not say, because I want to be able to say that the military does a crappy job educating soldiers. And the sooner that we realize that, the sooner we can help. The sooner we can help soldiers move forward, make smart financial decisions, and give hope to those people who are suffering financially, instead of just counseling them and hoping it gets better. We need a process military wide that we can point to develop our soldiers, to develop our junior leaders, and to move forward. The military gives you every chance to succeed financially. Your salary increases based on where you live. If it's more expensive where you live, your housing allowance goes up. There's some locations they get cost of living associated increases in pay. And if you deploy and get tax-free benefits, that is huge. And I believe that that's understated in some of the mainstream financial advisors, in the mainstream financial shows. So I'm going to run through my process, the money marching order, the MMO, as you'll hear me refer to it in other podcasts. So, guys, if this sounds like something that you've been thinking, or if you're just entering the military and you need some guidance, this is the podcast for you. This is where I'm going to talk about it, where I'm going to talk about all the things I couldn't talk about when I was in the military, and just be as a sounding board and a platform for people to listen to. So, again, the money marching order is going to be my process. It's going to be very similar to the baby steps. It's going to be very similar to Crown Financial steps, but it's going to be different. It's going to be a little, just different enough for military folks to know that someone out there is looking at what they need, is looking at the steps they need to take and how things are different for them. And, that's all I'm going to be doing, is producing content and podcasts for that. So in later episodes, I'm going to go over the money marching order in detail. This is just an episode to get my why out there, to get you a short clip to listen to, so you can see what I'm all about. So if you like the sounds of this, go ahead and subscribe and keep listening. More episodes are coming your way. So I appreciate you listening. And again, my name is Tim McAndrew, and this is Leading with Sense.